Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Bradley.
And I'm Dave Bales. Welcome to Not the Situation Room.
Solar panels.
What?
I know, I know. Solar panels is what we're going to talk about today. Well, not directly, but indirectly. But it does seem like every month or so, I have a solar salesperson come to my house wanting to give me the hookup because I have perfect sight lines for solar, which basically means I have zero shade from sun up to sundown.
You do have perfect sight lines, but I've been through it. I'm sure a lot of us have been through that. But what I want to know is, do you think every single house that they go to has perfect sight lines, or do they actually knock on someone's door and say, "Yeah, your sight lines suck for solar. Have a nice day."
He's like, you mean they come by and I go, you say that to everybody. But we're not here to talk about solar installation today. We're here for a story originally from Reuters on solar disruption and possibly even solar grid or power grid destruction.
Man, this is a juicy topic,
Mhm.
but we've also made some speculations that may or may not be true, but they are 100% plausible. So,
Mhm.
Nick, what is a kill switch?
Nice segue.
Thank you.
A kill switch could allow Beijing to cripple power grids and trigger blackouts across the United States. The kill switch isn't in every panel, but they have been found in numerous areas.
Yeah, and these kill switches are installed in Chinese power inverters that connect to solar and wind. They connect the electricity grids all over the world. So if these kill switches are activated by Beijing, the results would be catastrophic. Now,
Mhm.
this is the worst case scenario, or is it?
No. Sadly, this is very reminiscent of the SCADA hack, if some of you may remember Stuxnet. But for those that don't, here's a quick reminder. Stuxnet was used to remotely change the settings on centrifuges in Iran, causing them to burn up. This same type of thing could be activated remotely by Beijing. With remote access, they can change the settings on these inverters and physically damage the power grid. A much worse scenario than simply turning things off.
All right, let me unpack this for a second. We, the United States, are most likely not surprised by this development, right? Stuxnet, though, has never been admitted as having been created by the US or Israel. There are multiple reports that claim that it was a joint effort. So, on the chance that we did create it, can we be even remotely surprised by China basically doing the exact same thing to us in trying to destroy critical equipment?
I'd say that not only are we expecting it, but we prepared for it. At least now we did anyway. That's why we now have teams in place that tear down this sensitive equipment to look for just those kind of things. At this point, we 100% expect this, and we have security measures in place.
So we're not surprised. Good. My anxiety was starting to ramp up a little. You know how I get.
Hmm.
But, we've already actually seen this in action. Back in November, solar inverters in the US were disabled from China. We don't have the exact numbers of affected solar inverters, but it did happen once, and you can bet that it can and probably will happen again.
Sure. And this is why we have this kind of show. Though still a small sector of power creation and consumption, the risk is growing as more people adopt these power supplies and technologies.
Let me throw one last thing at you here. Chinese companies are required by law, that's right, by
Yeah, I'm
law,
sure they're going to abide by that. I'm sure.
of course they are,
Yeah.
to cooperate with the country's intelligence agencies, thereby giving Beijing complete control over all Chinese made inverters connected to foreign power grids, required by law to be beholden to government intel agencies in China.
I feel safer.
Be aware, but don't panic, and just keep an eye out for news stories on manufacturer notices if they do find out which manufacturers have these kill switches installed.
Whoa, wait. What?
They're illegal. They've been illegal for 3 years.
This is true. Solid advice, Dave. However, let's give them back the rest of their day. And before I forget, the opinions expressed here are our own and do not in any way reflect the views of anyone or anything other than us. Thank you for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback on what we covered here today.
Do you agree? Disagree? All of that feedback is welcome.
Yep, like, share, comment, and
We will see you next time.